I find Digimon to be one of the greatest things from my childhood, and it still remains one of my favorite series to this day. As such, I find it only fair to say that I am biased towards Digimon, but I will try to not let that cloud my judgment of this game and the ones that will follow throughout this marathon. Now, I also need to preface this with a bit of trivia. Digimon World 1 is not the first game in Digimon franchise. That would be Digital Monster version S, Digimon Tamers, for the Sega Saturn, and from what I can tell, it seems like a regular pet simulator. Plus, it was never ported to the US, much like many other Digimon games. And that means unless I learn Japanese, I'm not going to review those anytime soon. With that out of the way, let me welcome you to Digimon World 1 for the PS1. Digimon World 1 stars a young Nimbus protagonist, though here in the West we call him Hiro. Hiro is returning home only to find his digital monster toy going haywire, and a very detailed, for the system anyway, Koromon screaming gibberish at him before being horribly torn apart into bits of data and absorbed. The endless mental scarring notwithstanding, I see why all the other Digimon protagonists had much easier methods of getting transported into the digital world. Though it would have fit right at home with Tamers. After the brutal breakdown and reconfiguration, Hiro awakens to find himself surrounded by in-training Digimon, or baby Digimon in Japan, and Jijimon, a mega-level Digimon. Keep that in mind for later. Grams here informs Hiro that something is wrong with the Digimon on File Island. They are slowly regressing into a feral state and seek Hiro's help in finding out why this is happening and to save them from whatever is causing this. Why the Mega level Digimon can't do this is never brought up. Being a young boy ready for adventure, however, Hiro agrees and runs off with his partner, ready to deal with the troubles of the island one step at a time. And from there, you're free to go wherever you like. Yeah, the story just kinda takes a backseat until the endgame, and meeting some specific Digimon. And it actually works to the advantage of the game itself, because every mon you meet that can join the city actually has some character to them. Nothing comparable to, say, Persona or anything like that, but small character moments like that help make the Digimon feel like real living creatures. My favorite example would be Ogremon, who originally started off as a bandit because he saw every other mon losing their minds, but eventually he found hope in watching Hiro constantly doing what is right to save the island, and eventually decides to become a guard for the city itself. Character moments do a lot for me, and there's a lot of little moments like that peppered out throughout the game. What's weird though is that your own partner has no such moments. Every other Digimon can talk just fine, but your partner never says a word. It's odd, to say the least. Granted, character moments like that mean little if the gameplay doesn't hold up. So, let's get into the meat of the game. Your partner hatches from one of 4 Digi-Eggs and digivolves through 2 in-training stages, culminating into one of 9 Rookie Digimon, which can then digivolve into one of 29 Champion Digimon, and can lastly digivolve into one of 15 Ultimate Digimon. However, this isn't a turn-based RPG by any means, it's a pet simulator, like the original Digimon keychain toys. Like any pet simulator, this means you have to care for your partner like a pet. Feed him when he's hungry, make sure he sleeps properly, make sure he goes poop in the toilet, and generally make sure he doesn't end up killing himself. Or you can be a complete dick to the little guy. Your call, you heartless monster. How well you care for the little guy helps in Digivolution, but the main factor is his stats and will most likely make things harder for you without a guide. A Digimon has 7 stats: HP, MP, offense, defense, speed, brains, and weight. All are pretty self-explanatory and can be raised very slightly through battle or through spending 1 in-game hour training at select locations. With that said, in order to digivolve, a Digimon has to meet specific stat requirements. Otherwise, it will either die or become a Numemon, which is pretty much asking it to die, so pick your poison. One would think that doesn't sound too difficult, right? Here's the thing. Nowhere in the game does it say or hint at what the requirements are for any level of Digivolution. Without a list on GameFAQs, you're a kid in the dark. With a list, however, you can get an ultimate very easily and have a much easier time. Now, I mentioned earlier that battles are not turn-based. That's because Hiro sits on the sidelines yelling orders at his partner. And personally, when it's rookie versus rookie, I feel dirty, like I'm watching a cockfight. The game setting, Fire Island, is relatively similar to the same one from Digimon Adventure, with some added locations and a smaller size. It's still a PS1 game after all, and because all locations are pre-rendered, I'm stuck between liking the amount of detail in them and feeling like they haven't aged very well. This also rings true for the Digimon models themselves. The Digimon are quite detailed and expressive, but no one's going to be praising their quality anytime soon. Of course, all that hard work and exploration culminates in exploring one last area, Mount Infinity, where after several battles, Hiro finds the culprit of all this madness, Analog Man. oh, I'm sorry, I can't take that name seriously. Oh man. Analog Man is essentially turning Digimon feral to control them and take over the nets, so to prove his superiority, he summons his ultimate slave, Machinedramon, a Mega level Digimon. Allow me to remind the audience that the highest level you can achieve is Ultimate. Needless to say, without a very good number of restorative items, you're going to be completely and utterly destroyed. Have fun! When you eventually manage to take this glorious machine down, Analog Man decides to say F it and blow up the entire island while he GTFOs. At least until Digimon screws up with his teleporter, and judging by his face, is torn apart worse than Hiro was in the intro. As such, after horribly destroying another human being, the day is saved and Hiro can finally return home, just in time for supper too. That is until Hiro is called back to deal with the rampant remains of Analog Man and Machinedramon. Overall, this game is a bit difficult to recommend due to various factors. One biggest issue for many people will be the gameplay. Having to actually raise your mon rather than just grind enemies is going to put plenty of players off. Add the lack of information on how Digivolution works, and you have a game that's very frustrating to those without game facts. Getting past that, you can have a game with nice little character moments that can breeze through when you know how to break it. Personally, it's one of my favorite games on the original PS1, thanks to both my love of the franchise and many of the little moments spread throughout the game. The fact that raising creatures is one of my favorite things to do in video games really helps it out. If you enjoy action and pet simulators, you'll have a nice time, but if you hate games that are god dang it in terms of making any sort of progress, you are most definitely not having a good time. If it isn't your type of Digimon game, that's fine as well, because there are a lot more options that I'll show you later on. For now though, I bid you all a farewell. I'm off for my next digital adventure and to catch up with my little cream puff here. Have a wonderful night and take care.